Hi students, I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to divide a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number. Let's talk about the steps of division that we did in class today. The first step that we're going to do is daddy divide. The second step we'll do is mommy multiply, sister subtract, brother bring up, and Rover start over. Okay, let's look at number 1. When I talk about daddy divide, I'm talking about how many groups of 2 can you make with 2 dots? So I say, I go to my 2's and I go look for 2 or smaller. Here's 2. How many groups is that? 1. So every time you make a group, you put the number on top. That would be daddy divide. Now you're going to do mommy multiply. 1 times 2. The number that you put on top, you multiply it by the divisor. 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. What you're going to do is brother bring up the 0. So now you have 3. And you're going to do, after brother bring up, you're going to do Rover start over. So now you're going to ask yourself, how many groups of 2 can you make with 3 dots? So then I'll go to my 2's again, and I'll go find 3 or smaller. 4 is too big, so I have to go with 2. How many groups is that? 1. So I'm going to put 1 on top. After we did daddy divide, next it's mommy multiply. And you're going to multiply the number we just put on top, which is 1 times 2. What's 1 times 2? 2. We just did mommy multiply. Now let's do sister subtract. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Now we're going to do brother bring up. We're going to bring this up because we're going to put remainder 1. So my answer is 11 remainder 1. Okay, let's try another one. All right, let's try 56 divided by 3. My divisor is 3, my dividend is 56. The first question we're going to ask ourselves is daddy divide. How many groups of 3 fit into 5? So you go to your 3's and you go to 5 or smaller. 6 is too big, but we can use 3. It's smaller than 5. And it's the closest one to 5, which is how many groups? 1. So you're going to put 1 on top. We just did daddy divide. Now it's time for mommy multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. Sister subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. Brother bring up the 2. Now we have 26. So we're going to do Rover start over. So we're starting with daddy divide again. How many groups of 3 can you make with 26? Well, you go to your 3 and you go find 26 or smaller. 27's too big, so we can go with 24. How many groups is that? 8. So we put 8 on top. Now we're going to do mommy multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. 26 minus 24, we're at sister subtract. 26 minus 24 is 2. Now we're at brother bring up. Bring up the 2, we have remainder 2. My answer is 18, remainder 2. Okay, let's try another 2. Oops. Alrighty. My dividend is 15, and my divisor is 9. So we're doing 15 divided by 9. We're going to ask ourselves, how many groups of 9 can we make with 1? So we're at daddy divide right now. How many 9's can fit into 1? Let's go to our 9's. Do you see 1 or smaller? Do you see 1 or smaller here? No. So then we're going to say we can fit 0 groups of 9 into 1. So now it's time to do mommy multiply. 0 times 9, 0. 1 minus 0, we're sister subtracting. 1 minus 0 is 1. Brother bring up the 1. How many groups of 9 can you fit into 15? So you go look at your 9s and you go to 15 or smaller. 18 is too big, so that would be 9. How many groups is that? 1. So we're going to put 1 on top. So what we just did is Rover start over. We just did daddy divide with 9 and 15. How many groups did we make? 1. So now we're at mommy multiply. 1 times 9 is 9. Make sure your numbers are nice and lined up. So now we could do 15 minus 9. And we need to borrow, so this becomes a 1. This becomes a 0. 15 minus 9. So I put 9 in my head. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I count on to 15, I get 6. So then I brother bring up. I did subtract. I brother bring up. I have remainder 6. So my answer is 1 remainder 6. Okay, let's try another one. The only way you're going to get better at this, boys and girls, is if you practice. Keep practicing. Keep practicing the steps, and then you'll get better at it. Okay, our first step is daddy divide. How many 7s fit into 3? Can you make a group of 7 with only 3 dots? No, because the smallest is 7, and we need 3. So that can't work, so we're going to say I can make 0 groups. So now we're at mommy multiply. 0 times 7 is 0. So now we're at sister subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. All right, so now we're at brother bring up. Bring up the 3, and now we have 37. Can I make a group of 7 with 37? Sure. Go to your 7s, go find 37 or smaller. 35 is closest to 37 without going over. How many groups is that? 5. So we're going to put 5 on top. Now we're at Rover start over. We just did daddy divide, sorry. Now we're at mommy multiply. 5 times 7, the number you just put on top is 5, so that's what you're going to multiply. 5 times 7 is 35. Now we could do sister subtract. 37 minus 35 is 2. Brother bring up the 2, so we have remainder 2. So our answer is 5 remainder 2. Let's do 2 more, boys and girls. 2 more. All right, here we have 41 divided by 8. Can I make a group of 8 with only 4? We're doing daddy divide right now. Go to your 8s and go look for 4 or smaller. Nope, the smallest one is 8 and we need 4. So we're going to say we can make 0 groups. 0 groups. So now we're going to do mommy multiply. 0 times 8, 0. 4 minus 0 is 4. Brother bring up the 4. Right? We already did sister subtract. We just did brother bring up. So now we have 41. So how many groups of 8 can we make with 41? So you go to your 8s again and you go find 41 or smaller. It's got to be 40 because 48 is too big. So then we'll go up, 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 and we have 5. 5 groups. So we put 5 on top. Okay? And we're at daddy divide right now. So we made 5 groups. Whatever you get, you put it on top. Now we're at mommy multiply. 5 times 8 is 40. 41 minus 40 is 1. Now we're at brother bring up the 1. So we have remainder 1. So our answer is 5 remainder 1. Okay, last one. Oh, let me erase this and let's try one more. Our equation is 67 divided by 4. Our divisor is 4. Our dividend is 67. The first question we're going to ask ourselves is daddy divide. How many 4s fit into 6? So you go to your 4s, you go find 6 or smaller. 8 is too big, but 4 will work because it's smaller than 6. Go up, 1 group. So we're going to put 1 on top. The number we just put on top, we need to multiply it with our divisor. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. We just did sister subtract. Now it's time to do brother bring up. Bring up that 2 and put it in front of the 7. Now we have 27. How many groups of 4 can we make with 27? And by the way, we're already at Daddy Divide again. So how many groups of 4 can you make with 27? So go to your 4s and go to 27 or smaller. 28's too big, but we can use 24 because it's smaller than 27. And it's the closest to 27. How many groups is that? 6. So put 6 on top because we're doing Daddy Divide. Now we can do Mommy Multiply. What are we doing Mommy Multiply with? The 6 we just put on top with your divisor. 6 times 4 equals 24. 27 minus 24 equals 3. Brother, bring up the 3, remainder 3. So we have 16, remainder 3.